I'm not a journalist. I'm not an activist. I never wanted to be. That wasn't a dream, because Turkey, when you say Turkey and media, when you use both of them in the same sentence, it sounds like a joke. For those of you who are news buffs, who follow what's happening in the world, probably understand what I'm talking about. It was an ordinary day in the Middle East. I got a call from my friend saying, Engin, something happened in the Turkish-Iraqi border. It's claimed that there are so many casualties. We're like, okay, let's switch on TV, right? That's what you do here. Okay, we did. That was cheap entertainment on TV. We bought some newspaper. Nothing. The headline is not what we're searching for. Radio. There is no news on radio. It's only music and chat. What do? We look at Twitter, and that was a storm of information over there. And we saw catastrophic pictures. Before, civilians were bombarded by Turkish warplanes. And the reason is false intelligence. And that started us talking. In any country you go, this is breaking news. This should be the first news. You should interrupt the broadcast and say this. Nobody did. But we started asking ourselves, why did this take place? Why was media silent? And we came to the ecopolitics issue. If you have media, construction, energy at the same time in your holding, it's so clear that you use media for some other function. We said this to ourselves, and we noticed that Turkish media was doomed to fail. And we asked ourselves, can't we do that? What do? They have a fancy microphone like this with logo on it. They go to the areas, they ask some questions, they become witnesses, and they air it if they can. We said we can do this too. We had no idea of the concept that we would meet later, citizen journalism, when we first took to the street as normal citizens. We took to the street, we started taking pictures from the events, activities, protests that is happening in public spaces. Or, I had never been in a courthouse before, but I noticed it's my right to go there and watch any case I'm interested in. So I went there, I tweeted from there with my friends. We went to the protests. Rather than going to the school on weekdays, I was going to hearings to live tweet. And on the weekend, rather than going out for drinks with my friends, I was going to the protests that I have no interest in. No. For instance, this is something I joined. It's far-right, radical Islamist party, but I'm there. It's a protest against fornication. I don't have anything in common with this protest. As if. But I helped that community over there have their voice heard. We went to the protest organized by Kurdish people. We got pepper sprayed for the first time for a cause that I had no idea about. And it's become a journey to understand Turkey. In every protest, every event, every lawsuit that we go and live tweet, we were learning something new. These are like actors, their theater got closed, so they are protesting it. Every kind of issue. My friend Jem and I have this giant iPad. I'm doing interview. Please don't mind the image. I had never made an interview in my life. Why would anyone who is not a journalist would do interview with someone, right? We then learned that what we do, was called citizen journalism. And the first thing we did was to Google what citizen journalism meant. So I started from the bottom, you know? And I learned on the way with my friends, but that wasn't my job. But it's become my burden that I carry with me. Time magazine in 2015 named me as the man transforming journalism in Turkey. It's a big, bold statement. But that was a reason that they named it this way. We organized 500 people across 81 districts in Turkey. We visited these areas. We trained them how to use Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook, the platforms that you use every day, but in a different function, to let people know, for journalism that we couldn't find. When we switched on TV at the end of 2011, there was no news. But when we took to the street and we started this initiative, when we organized 500 people across country and convinced them, by the way, with no monetary return, people go there, take pictures, videos, do interviews, just like us, and send it to us, to our pool. We verify, we fact check with at least 2 more sources, we publish. That's been a true alternative to what we were against to. 2012 to 2015, Turkey got through a lot of political turmoil. Maybe some of you heard, Gezi Park protests, and then the follow-up turmoils, chaos, bombing, ISIS, PKK, whatever you can imagine. In 2016, a lot of ISIS bombings. People were afraid of going out to public space. So we started losing our access to public space, year by year, event by event. You know, you go, normally the model of news creation, you go, you witness, you send it to us, but where do you go? To public spaces, to courtrooms. What if there's nothing on the street that you can access? So this has happened. The entire model was toppled overnight because Turkey got through a coup attempt in July 2016. State of emergency was declared. Protests in public spaces were controlled and limited by state force. And nobody was willing to go and make news. Entire model doomed to fail. But I'm coming from an advertiser's background. You know, creativity is a miraculous thing. It gives you endless options. I noticed that journalism lacks creativity. Journalism has never been engaged with creativity at all. You know, you can think journalism in Turkey is in crisis. How about Netherlands? You think there is no problem, right? Content-wise. But financially, almost the same thing. There is no way out if you don't embed creativity in your work, in your routine, in your working culture, and if you don't rely on creativity, your financial models also are doomed to fail. So we thought of this, and we said, okay, citizen journalism was an era. Right now, we have to do something different. We were witnesses, sole witnesses. We were going to the street, going to the courtrooms, live tweeting, whatever we hear. We were never adding one sentence, no interpretation, because I didn't even take journalism 101 class. Okay, I don't have the background and infrastructure to comment on stuff, to merge stuff, to, you know, interpret stuff that is happening. But we had to do something. You know, this model failed. We said journalism should have creativity much more, should be merged with creativity much more. And we revamped the entire One for the Journos idea. From witnessing, we switched to curiosity. Curiosity is also so miraculous. You wonder something, you go after it, you ask questions in order to satisfy your own curiosity. It's changed the entire broadcast, entire. The news, what kind of news? Where do you go? What kind of questions you ask? What kind of medium you use? So we started experimenting with mediums because we have to find a new way to let people know. When they're not out, when they cannot go anywhere, to create a content, to protest for their rights, we have to find a new way. Where are they? They're on WhatsApp. You know, after all these tragedies, they closed their accounts on Twitter. They made their Facebook posts friends only. They locked their Instagram accounts. And they turned to WhatsApp, which is a closed circle medium. You know, it's a messaging app, not a social media platform. So we said, what are the potentials? Which platform we can use to let people know? WhatsApp, what can we do on WhatsApp? We can do broadcast lists. We can use broadcast lists. Let's make friends with people. This is our number, send us a message. We will send you news every day from WhatsApp, and we want to hear from you. And this is a platform that they felt free because it's a closed circle chat application. We even experimented with Tinder for news delivery for 6 months. It's an amazing experiment. One account for women, one account for men, handsome, beautiful people, but fake, totally. We created these images. And we swipe everybody. And if they also give response, we talk to them about what? We have a news broadcast. We are reinterpreting and embedding the news content into chat conversations, in sentences. All of them singularly, creatively, rewritten, paraphrased. That was an experiment. So some mediums from all these experiments survived. And we found a lot of ways. We started using Snapchat. We discovered the beauty of documentation, documentary. Right now, 140 Journals reaches 1 million people every day through YouTube, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, in a country like Turkey. That's big, because it was like a joke when we first started. Media in Turkey. Right now, my opinion about the Turkish media and what empowers me every day when I wake up is Turkey is a Middle Eastern country, yes. But Turkey has a lot of people on minimum wage go and buy smartphones, on minimum wage. So they are in a big hunger, amazing hunger for technology, for information. They're already undertaking the biggest part of technology, biggest part of news delivery, the infrastructure. They paved the way for infrastructure. The rest is content. I wake up every day and I say, okay, this is a Middle Eastern country with all these news agenda. Coup attempts, bombings, and so forth. Anything can happen at any time, politically or societally. But this is a great experimentation area. Turkey is, according to statistics, the biggest prison for journalists. But to me, it is the greatest experimentation area for journalism. Biggest laboratory. We wear uniforms, we experiment. And a country like Turkey, after all these, when you merge it with creativity, it turns into a great laboratory for journalism that probably and hopefully is creating right now the formats that the region, maybe European audience can use. It's not a joke then, I said to myself, because nobody said it would be easy. Nobody. Challenge is a great thing. We are challenged by political turmoils, a lot of political problems every day, and external forces like bombings and stuff every day. But this is our challenge. I don't want to get off my uniform. I don't want to leave this experimentation area. That's what I tell myself when I wake up every day. Yeah, thank you so much.